Hi Aries, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of April 2022. It is your birthday month, so I wish you a very happy birthday. We are in Aries season, and there are 3 points transiting in your sign as we begin the month. It's a great time for taking action. You've got Mercury, the planet of communication and marketing and networking, and the Sun, which represents ego and identity and is exalted in your sign, and Chiron, which is the wounded healer, are all transiting in the cardinal fire sign of Aries, in your house of new beginnings and self. Good for getting into an exercise routine and taking care of yourself. Good for getting things done. You're a very goal and action oriented sign, so this gives you a big burst of energy. There's also a stellium of planets transiting in the fixed air sign of Aquarius, in your house of friends, groups, networking, and community. A lot of social emphasis as of recent. So Vesta, which is an asteroid representing hearth and home and getting your needs met. Mars, which is the ruler of your sign, how you get things done, how you actualize things. Saturn, which is the planet of karma, accountability, and how you anchor your goals. Juno, which is an asteroid that represents partnering. And Venus, which is the planet of love, money, and what you value. They're all transiting in your house of socializing. So if you're single, it's been a good time for meeting people and networking. And if you're looking to get a job or to promote your own business, excellent for getting involved in promoting yourself, definitely getting further into social media, whether we like it or social level. We are in a new digital age. It is the new age of Aquarius, and that is where a big emphasis is in your chart through March of next year, because Saturn wants you to connect with community, find your tribe, but also up-level your skills with technology. So that's going on, and there's a big Piscean influence. We only have 2 planets in the beginning of the month, but they're huge because they're both the rulers of Pisces. Jupiter is the ancient ruler and it represents the vision. Neptune is the modern ruler and it represents the dream. And they are manifesting together and transiting in your house of dreams and the imagination. They will peak from April 9th through April 12th. And this is the first time they have met up in 165 years in the sign of Pisces, because Neptune takes 165 years to orbit. And this is huge because this is a very spiritual, romantic, and manifesting conjunction. That means they're both on top of each other, and they will meet up exactly on April 12th at 23 degrees and 59 minutes of the mutable water sign of Pisces. And this can be so healing and loving, but the lower form, and every sign and planet has a higher and lower form, could be the need or desire to escape, to not want to deal with things, and use this to restore and get energy, because by the middle end of April, there will be 5 points transiting in Pisces. Jupiter and Neptune already make it feel like there are 8 planets transiting, but by, that conjunction will still be in effect, but we'll have 5 planets transiting your house of rest and dreams and spirituality and empathy. So we begin the month on March 31st. There is a new moon that takes place at 11:24 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on April 1st at 2:24 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, at 11 degrees and 30 minutes of the cardinal fire sign of Aries. This is your annual new moon. The new moon is always an excellent time for setting intentions and planting new seeds. It's in your house of new beginnings. It's great for your social life, for your professional life. It's actualizing all these different houses for you. and giving you a burst of energy. And then let's see, the sun meets up with Chiron, the wounded healer, at 10:56 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on April 1st. And this helps because the sun is exalted in your sign. It's very, very strong in cardinal fire sign of Aries. So the sun and Chiron coming together helps to bring a healing energy to this new moon. And then on the following day, on April 2nd, Mercury and Chiron meet up at 9:24 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And Mercury is the planet of learning and communication, and maybe, delving within as to how you can heal yourself. And then later that day, the sun and Mercury meet up at 7:11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So a lot of focus on healing through your thoughts, definitely healing through action. You're a very, very physical sign, but a lot of it through positive thinking, and this is a great new moon. Do the law of abundance, plant new seeds, be specific with what you want to manifest. On April 3rd, the moon is going to be transiting in the sign of Taurus, and it's going to meet up with Uranus, the planet of surprise and the unexpected, at 1:47 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in your house of income and money and what you value. With Uranus, you can expect the unexpected, surprises, etc. There could be twists and turns that day, but the moon is exalted. It's very beautiful placement in the sign of Taurus, very creative and romantic and loving, and maybe it brings unexpected financial opportunities for you. It rules your house of income and money, but could be, some unexpected plans, etc. On April 5th, let's see here, on April 5th, Venus changes signs and enters the mutable water sign of Pisces, where it will be until May 2nd. And it does so at 11:17 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And Venus loves being in Pisces. It's exalted, it's very poetic and romantic and altruistic, very loving. And so that brings more Piscean energy in your house of the imagination. Great if you're working on creative or musical or art projects. Good for love, also good for feeling positive and manifesting. Do a lot of manifesting with this month. This is a historical month with the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, and now it's getting really strong. I'm doing these videos in the middle of March, and we're already feeling that hazy but romantic tone. On April 7th, Mercury, which is the planet of communication, forms a helpful sextile to Saturn, which helps to anchor your thoughts. And this occurs at 8:37 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's really good for you for networking. Maybe it's good for planning a date or a social activity, and it's good for business communication as well. On April 8th, Jupiter, which is the grand benefic, forms a helpful aspect to the north node of destiny. And this could bring really positive energy. Jupiter is transiting in your house of dreams and, really manifesting. And the north node of karma is transiting in your second house of money and income. And this could bring very fortuitous and fated connections. So pay attention. It could bring very good business and financial endeavors. So something good could come in at that time. And then on April 9th, Jupiter-Neptune conjunction is getting strong. It's really peaking from April 9th through April 12th. And again, this is a very manifesting cycle. I had a teacher once say that it's an easy money cycle, but it's very good for manifesting the dream and or the vision. How about both? And so they're working together on the 9th. They are going to peak on April 12th at 23 degrees and 59 minutes of the mutable water sign of Pisces. But we're feeling that romantic, spiritual, and creative tone. And on the day of the 9th, the moon trines Jupiter and Neptune. So a lot of good vibes around adding to this. And then on April 10th, Mercury squares Pluto, the planet of death and regeneration, at 4:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could conceivably bring power struggles, but a good way of looking at this, first of all, it's early in the morning, will influence the day, but in the same vein, with Jupiter and Neptune, you're trying to manifest healing and love, and certainly on the collective in such a very, very sad time in history. So purging toxic habits, especially with Mercury involved, purging toxic thinking. How can you connect to the divine on a weekend that is leading you there? Purging negativity. And then later on April 10th, Mercury changes signs and enters the fixed Earth sign of Taurus at 10:09 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where it will be until April 29th, transiting in your house of money and income and what you value. And now you have 3 points transiting in your house of money. So a lot of focus on networking to bring financial opportunities, could be fated opportunities with the North Node and Uranus bringing a lot of change in that area for you, but a lot of emphasis on finances, starting at that point. And then on April 14th, Mars, which is the ruler of your sign, changes signs at 11:09 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and enters the sign of Pisces, where it will be until May 24th, transiting in your house of sleep and rest and spirituality and spiritual practice. You may find, because you're such an active sign, that this could make you feel a little tired, but as we get further in the month, more and more planets are entering Pisces. So, again, that's a really creative time for you. It could be great for doing, if you want to be physical, doing spiritual practice, doing yoga or other forms that help you to be active, but also incorporate meditation and manifestation. You're really being encouraged to work with your unconscious mind, I feel, this month. So that's a good energy. And then on April 16th, there is a full moon that takes place at 2:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 26 degrees and 46 minutes of the cardinal air sign of Libra. This is your opposite sign in your house of partnerships and relationships. And this full moon does square Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, and Pluto is transiting in your house of career. Now, this full moon could bring an ending. It could bring culmination to certain things you've been working on, but it also could bring a healing energy. Maybe you've been dating somebody for a while and you take it to another level. The fact that it's squaring Pluto, if there's something that does need to be eliminated, it's very likely it will do so with that energy. But also, if there are things you're trying to empower or heal, that's a very good use of it. So that's a nice thing. And on April 17th, Venus forms a helpful aspect to, to Jupiter. I'm trying to remember. It's definitely good aspects on the 17th and on the 18th. And I know on the 18th, I'm trying to remember now, the 18th, Venus sextiles Uranus at 3:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's very creative and very innovative energy. But on the day of the 18th, the Sun squares Pluto at 11:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that could definitely bring power struggles and endings. That's very intense, yet there is a very innovative and creative energy. And I know on the 17th, Mercury forms a good aspect to Venus, and that's at play that day. But then that's at 11:09 p.m. Or 9:09 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and then Mercury meets up with Uranus at 9:51 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on April 18th at 12:18 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So there's a lot of wacky energy with that, because then you've got the Venus-Uranus energy, which is very creative and innovative on the 18th. You've got an aspect of major endings and or power struggles and manipulation with the Sun square Pluto on April 18th as well. So good aspects, but that's heavy, Sun square Pluto. And then on April 19th, the Sun changes signs. It leaves your sign and enters the fixed Earth sign of Taurus, where it will be until May 20th in your house of money and income. Now 4 points are transiting there, a lot of focus on your finances. And on April 20th, Juno, which is an asteroid that represents partnering, changes signs and enters the mutable water sign of Pisces, where it will be until January 12th of 2023, transiting in your house of spirituality. So you may be getting more and more drawn to partnering with people in some spiritual way. Maybe you're taking some classes. Maybe you're studying with a healing coach or learning some form of metaphysics. But that is happening. And I think for all of us, partnering in healing in a very, very sad time, that would be a time that we would need it, right? And then on April 24th, Mercury squares Saturn at 9:50 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That can be challenging. That could definitely bring obstacles. It is good for getting hard work done. But then Mercury also forms a good aspect to Neptune, a very helpful aspect at 6:37 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So although there may be restrictions, there's also infinite imagination available that day as well. He's got to work hard to get there. And then on April 26th, let's see, we've got Mercury, I can't remember now the 26th, I'm sorry, but on April 27th, it's a big deal because on that date, Pluto stations retrograde at 2:35 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 28 degrees and 36 minutes of the cardinal Earth sign of Capricorn in your house of career and life goals. Pluto has been up there on and off from 08 and 09. A lot of change, a lot of transformation. We feel the shift, the retrograde, 5 days before and 5 days after. So we're going to start feeling it around the 22nd through the beginning of May. There could be major endings, major departures, major beginnings, and change. For you, it is in your house of career and life goals, but still, it's a big deal. And on August 28th, Mercury forms a trine to Pluto, and that's a really nice energy that happens at 8:05 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then the other big part of the month is that on April 30th, there is a partial solar eclipse that occurs at 4:28 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 10 degrees and 28 minutes of the fixed Earth sign of Taurus. And that is it's the second new moon of the month, technically. It's not a blue moon because that involves full moons, but this is an eclipse. This is a new moon on steroids, not a total solar eclipse, but powerful enough. And it's also setting off for Uranus, the planet of chaos, disruption, brilliance, and innovation, has been transiting the last couple of years. And this solar eclipse is conjunct Uranus. So we can expect a lot of twists and turns, a lot of unexpected events. There is a beautiful Venus-Jupiter conjunction that occurs later that day at 5:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in your house of manifesting and spirituality. So we have a lot of beauty to work with. This may be a month where people are acting a little more wacky because, again, there will be heavy Neptunian energy, which can be very spiritual, very creative, but can also feel like you're completely zoned out, so that can happen as well. But this is your birthday season. This is your annual new moon. I wish you a lot of luck. All the planets are direct till the end of the month when Pluto retrogrades. Thank you so much and take care.